Seconds.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first of what I hope is many underdog drafts done by the Fantasy Collective. Obviously, my co-host tonight is not an official member of the collective yet, yet. Um,
Yes.
but we have Mr. Seth Keller at FF the At Home Dad joining us tonight. Seth, how are you doing? And while you answer that, I'm going to share my screen and go grab a beer real quick.
That's a great idea. I'm doing fantastic. I've been floating around in a lake in Connecticut for the past week, drinking beers and playing with the kids. So it's been absolutely fantastic. So I guess in co-hosting spot, I'm gonna fill in a little bit. We're gonna be jumping straight into the draft. It's already counting down for us with the 60 seconds to get started. So we're about ready to begin here.
I think we are
So
live
half
too.
half
So
PPR. Let's see here. I'm 6 picks away. So I'm at the 7 spot. Shane, where did you end up? You're
I'm
at
at
the
the 5.
5. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of you taken from me and me taken from you happening here.
100% as per usual when we draft together. Um, and so Fox is at the 2. He took Dalvin Cook. We've got good friend of the collective, Bob Gilchrist, at the 3. K Cole 22. You were in the last draft, and gonna be honest, I don't know who that actually is. But you're a friend of the collective now. So you took freaking Kamara. So I'm on the clock. Yeah, I got to. I'm gonna go Derrick Henry here. Henry has top 5 upside to me still, even with him not being as a receiving threat. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh,
Okay,
shoot. Is
Seth.
that me?
Yes, you're on the clock.
Why does it say I already timed out? Well, that's weird. All right, I need to refresh my screen here, but that was so weird. It just jumped straight to double zeros, and I was like, I didn't even wait. Did I miss it already at the first round timeout? No.
Is this what you were
Uh,
talking about using?
yeah, there
The
you
draft
go.
board?
That's
Okay.
that's the one. That's the pretty one for everybody to see.
Yeah. I mean, you got autoed with Jonathan Taylor, so
No,
that's
I,
not
I
that
didn't.
bad.
I didn't. That was what I wanted to do. I
Okay.
wanted Jonathan Taylor there. He is he's my pick to be a top 5 running back. I could have gone Saquon Barkley there. I thought about it. Um, but I think I've taken him a couple too many times, and I don't get enough. I don't get enough times to have Jonathan Taylor for as much as I think he's just gonna eat this year. And I haven't been able to grab enough shares of him, so I had the opportunity here, and I took
So
it.
you did it. I love
Yeah.
it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, and that I don't know. Henry is one that like I enjoy. I don't know why this isn't working right now. Um, is like one that I enjoy drafting just because he's just a monster. Um, but even with I guess half PPR makes it a little more tolerable of a pick, but he's just been such a consistent producer.
Yep.
Um, so that's what I'm going with. And one thing that so we'll see what her next pick is, but woman's is Bethany L. Peters from Twitter. And in the last draft, she went kind of zero RB. I'm interested to see if she does it again.
She went
Um,
she went hardcore zero RB too.
yeah, which is not my preferred strategy, but best ball I feel like is one of the formats that it can work really well in.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
And she already broke that though by going Austin Eckler with her
Austin Eckler,
second pick.
God, I love that
So
pick. I
uh,
love that pick, especially in the second round. So, Bethany, you say you're not an analyst, and you may not be, but you know your shit when it comes to fantasy football. So, and now you're on the clock, Seth.
oh, JB Cho knows sneaks. It's not a sneaks, and it's not really a snipe because he was literally next on the block there.
Yeah.
Um, But man, did I want me some Nick Chubb there. So I'm gonna go ahead. I can't not take Hopkins here.
Yeah.
Man, that is that the Nick Chubb one threw me for a second there because I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna
Those
get
are the
JT and
worst.
Chubb, and I'm gonna have the two guys that I'm like I like a lot of the running backs in the first and second round, but
Yeah.
man, I would have been thrilled to have JT and Chubb. And I know
Yeah.
that like a lot of people aren't as high on them as I am, but that's what makes it just even happier for me to take them. And I like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire there. I typically see him going later in the second round, but I really
No,
like Clyde
dude,
there.
as soon as I saw him there, he is a smashed draft for me, especially to pair with Henry. Like,
Yep.
that's just like, oh, I love that pairing. Love it. So, and then who went after me? Waller. I like Waller in the second there. How do you feel about that?
I thought about taking Waller with the pick that I had at the two. What was it? It would have been 2-6. I veered away from it because there's still a level of not like uncertainty with him, but there was like that weird like 2 weeks of him not practicing that
Mhm.
I still haven't figured out like what that exactly was yet. I don't maybe I just didn't see the news cycle of it. Um, but I made the choice in the second round. I'm not going early tight end, and I'm probably not going early quarterback, but who knows? There's still a lot that could happen in the next couple rounds here.
Yeah.
But my second round pick is letting me know, like, yeah, I want to go RB wide receiver. I'm going to hit those ones, depending on how the draft shakes out for me over the next little bit here. But yeah, Waller was definitely on the list of options there for me.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good pick, and I'm on the clock. And the only reason that I go early QB is if this player is available in this round, and it is Patrick Mahomes in the third round. I will draft that every single time, no matter what, unless I am trying for a specific stack. So, and this actually gives me a stack with him in CEH. So I am 100% in on that price. Now you are on the clock.
I'm gonna do the same thing I did in our draft that started earlier,
Early.
and I'm gonna take Allen Robinson here in the third.
Nice.
And it's a good start for me. I feel like to go running back, wide receiver, especially because the other running backs in this round are like David Montgomery and Chris Carson, and I think Montgomery is going to be probably a little bit better than what I feel
Good
a lot of people are saying about
Lord.
him, but wow, somebody likes Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool in the third?
Yeah, wow, somebody likes Chase Claypool.
Oh boy, I'm a Notre Dame fan and I'm not doing that. Holy smokes.
That's
And I love Claypool.
that's a big time play right there.
That
Good
is
for whoever Bender
Bender
18 is.
18.
He
Wow.
he is either 18 and on a Bender or just in love with Chase Claypool. Like
He's
that's
got
a
some cojones on him too. Good night.
that's a hell of a move. Oh my goodness. I just looked at the rest of his team too. Um he could be my nominee for the he could be my nominee for like his team is either going to be phenomenal or pure dog crap
Yeah.
because
I like I
he has Gibson, Harris, and
yeah.
Claypool, and those are all guys that are like I like Gibson, not in the first. I like Najee Harris, but not in the second,
I would take Najee
and
in
I
the
like Chase
second.
Claypool, but not in the
Not
third.
in the third. No, definitely not. I like Najee Harris, and I like him in the second. Um, I actually like the pairing with Gibson, but I would not have. I am not a Gibson guy. I would not have drafted him there. But I like that pairing, and then Claypool. Like, holy cow!
Yeah.
Um, Bender 18. Like, I need your autograph, man, because you might be a bigger Chase Claypool fan than I am. So,
That is some impressive stuff there.
and then Bethany is kind of going, I guess, hero RB instead of zero RB with Tyreek, Eckler, Kittle, and Lockett, and I like that team. And then JB Cho Knows is going. Was it Husky RB that we deemed it
I
when
think
you needed?
yeah, that's what we called it, Husky RB.
So JB Cho Knows is going Husky RB. He broke it with Mike Evans, and you are on the clock.
Oh, see, now here's where I'm gonna get caught with: do I trust my board, or do I trust the guy that I want? And because it's a $3 draft and we're having a good time and a couple beers on a Sunday night, I'm gonna go with the guy that I want here.
Do it.
And I'm going with Brandon Ayuk.
Nice.
I'm in love with Brian Ayuk. I think he's going to be absolutely phenomenal. The quarterback questions should not affect him that much in San Francisco because he should be good either way.
I just got sniped. I mean, I have other options here, but that was who I really wanted. I'm going to go someone who I don't think I've got any shares of in best ball, and that is Cooper Kupp. So I think Kupp and Bobby Trees are both candidates to be wide receiver ones this year, and both could finish that because they actually have a quarterback now. Kupp is, I mean, a little more touchdown dependent than Bobby Trees is, I think. But I still like him. I still think he's a talented player, and I'm fine taking him in the fourth here as my wide receiver one with how my team's shaking out.
The half point PPR dings him just slightly enough in my kind of shakedown that I'm not as happy with him in the fourth. Because I do think he's going to rely a little. He would need to rely a little bit more on touchdowns in order to be as successful like as he would be in like a PPR, because he's the type of guy that you can get like 100 receptions out of that are not going to be your big play, options. So he'll get he'll have a solid stat line of like 7-8 catches for 70-80 yards, which in PPR that's fine. That's like a 15-point game. But in a half point PPR, which is redundant actually, a half PPR, it's only like a 10-point game, and there it's a little bit, it's not quite as sexy of a play there. So Javonte Williams just went 5-1. Talk about that one for a minute. 5-1 for Javonte Williams.
Absolutely not. I would not touch that. Am I on the clock? Oh, I am on the clock, and you guys left me a gift. Deontay Johnson's my pick. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Javonte Williams at 5-1 is a no-no. Like, I am not a Miles Sanders guy. I'm taking him over Javonte every single time. Josh Jacobs, I don't really know. But you and I have talked about it on your show, on my show. Melvin Gordon is still a thing. He is still on the roster. He's going to be a pain in the butt to Javonte Williams owners for 6 to 8 weeks at least, I think. So, yeah, that's a really bullish player. I want to talk about Fox's team real quick. The man is kind of racking up with Dalvin, A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase, and then Miles Sanders as his RB2 in round 5. I like that build a lot. So, Fox, kudos to you, buddy. What do you think of Fox's team and Miles Sanders, just because that was his last pick?
I mean, I think people are just hating on Miles Sanders. I've said it a bunch of times. I think people's emotions from last year have affected their ability to judge what's actually happening, and also providing two different narratives around the Eagles of, the Eagles team, they were terrible. That's why you should give Wentz a second chance. All right, well, what about Miles Sanders? No, F that guy, man. No, he was terrible. But why does Wentz get a second chance, but not Miles Sanders? Well, I had Miles Sanders on my fantasy team, and I drafted him in the second round, and he ruined it for me. I drafted him at 2.2, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, that was your issue. It
Yeah.
wasn't that Miles Sanders was bad because he had a decent season last year. The issue was you drafted him in the early second. Same thing with Josh Jacobs. Same thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We put our expectations up here, and then like beyond what was like, what made sense. And then when they don't meet that expectation, we're mad at them versus being mad at ourselves for having unrealistic expectations.
Yep. And shameless plug here, go listen to the Fantasy Nightcap episode where Seth came on and we discussed the AFC West, because we had a very long discussion about that whole theory of playing on other people's emotions. So go check that episode out on your preferred podcasting network, because it was a fun one, because Seth is smart and brings information to you like that. So
Is this real? Are we in real life right now? Or is my
why?
computer messing with me?
Why?
Oh my goodness. Do I choose between these two?
I'm
Oh
gonna be
man.
real pissed if you take who I think you're about to
I think I'm
take.
going to. I did it. I did it
Okay, you
anyways.
you, you didn't.
I did it.
Oh,
I took Antonio
Antonio
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, I did it.
That's
Yeah.
real early. Tell us, talk to me about that. Now, if
He
before you go though, if Derek Dennington, mother,
yeah,
that is twice now.
he would have easily been there for you. For me it was actually, and you could take this guy right now. It was a toss up between Antonio Brown and Cortland Sutton.
That's actually who I was looking at. So I'm gonna take Cortland Sutton.
Yep. I mean, I already have, like, Debo was another really good option there, but I already
Yeah,
have Ayuk, so I wasn't going to do that. I mean, I probably could in a best ball and then try and like get Lance and Garoppolo.
yeah.
But I feel like that's just too many 49ers
Too many eggs
players.
in one
It's,
basket.
it's and and there's something good about stacking, right? And this,
Yeah.
you ready, Shane? Mark the time here because this is going to be like one of those quotes that you're going to like chop up and put into a thing. You ready?
Okay. Sunday, August 22nd at 9:41 p.m.
No, I meant on the
Eastern time.
timer like it's 17:24, just so that we don't miss it. All right, but so the best analogy I've come up with for stacking is like going to the roulette table, and you know how you can drop some coins on the one number that you want to hit, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And you can also though play on the corners and on the lines and on the edges, and that's kind of what stacking is, in the sense that you're putting it on two players at the same time,
Yeah.
and your returns aren't going to be as good as if you hit one. Like if you just said, I'm going to go with black 8, that's always been my number, right? If I'm just going to go black 8, yeah, you would get paid out, what is it, 1 to 34 or something like that.
Yeah.
um
I don't
but
know.
if
I've
you
never
play
been to
on
a
the
casino.
line, you get like 1 to 17. It's not as much, but you have two chances to win. The more
Yeah.
chances you have to win, the less chances you have,
To lose.
the less you have to lose, but also the lower the payout, right? And
Yeah.
so with these, oh man, you know what? At this point in the draft, I'm going to do it. James Robinson. There we go.
I like that.
Get you some. If he stays the lead back, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
But like on that roulette table, right? If you put that coin in the middle, you put your chips in the middle, you get a chance to hit on both of them. When it doesn't hit, you get nothing. Just like in a stack, when they have that bad
Yeah.
game, you get nothing. It sucks. But
Yep.
when they both hit, then you get even more. And the way you kind of can spread out your chips on the roulette table makes that even more like fun. Same way with fantasy like this, especially in best ball, when you get that stack together and they hit, simultaneously, it's almost like, instead of roulette where you only get paid out a little bit, it's almost like putting your money on both numbers and the one in the middle, because
Yeah.
you get such a boom from those two players hitting together in unison. And so that's why, like, I love a stack. I'm not going to go way out of my way and get it.
You mean like I did in the Puppy 3?
I mean, I don't know what you did in the puppy 3, but I'm not going to go way out of my way to get it, but I'm going to use that as a deciding factor in a couple of times of like, do I go this guy or this guy? Well, I can get this stack going. And I'd rather do that and try and hit those lines in those corners, right?
Yeah.
Like if I have the two wide receivers from, and actually I would rather do one of the wide receivers in George Kittle and Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe, however it happens. Like I'd rather hit that corner and hope I get something big out of it than, just playing single guys. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, that was a great analogy. It actually helped kind of paint a picture in my head of like why stacking is important. Um, so, but obviously Bethany is listening because she sniped you and took Trey Lance. And Phil, if you're watching, you suck because you ended my chances at stacking for a couple different players. So I'm not happy with you, Phil. And now I'm on the clock. And I'm going to take a guy here that I feel like people are out on, and I don't really get it because he's only 24 and he's a freak, and it is Mr. DJ Shark. Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
I
Yeah.
really like the pick. I hate the song. Not gonna lie. I have 5-year-old
Dude.
twin boys, and
Yeah.
so it's been on way, way, way more than I would care to admit.
Yeah. No, somebody
Great,
got
great pick though.
our daughters a and it might have been us, I don't remember, but a baby shark toy that when you put it in the bath, it sings the song. Yeah. I'm not happy with whoever did that. Just
Yeah.
throwing that out here.
I mean, if it was you, then it's kind of your own fault, but
Yeah. Well, I don't remember, so. All right. Fox with Justin Herbert, and he also took Michael Carter from you. I just
yeah. And
wanted to point that out.
I've been slowly watching some of those guys getting just picked here, picked there. I've
Yeah.
been watching that happen, but it's all right. It's honestly, I'm a little upset with the amount with the changeover from the earlier draft of how many people went zero wide receiver to now this draft of how many people aren't going zero wide receiver.
Dude, I went husky running back in that draft. My first 4 picks were running backs.
Yeah, like I'm at a point now. There is such great picks for.
Fox, that's a great pick too.
Yep, I was just saying there's such great
I
picks at wide receiver now that it's like, man, I have like 4 guys in my queue right now. There's 5 picks left, so they're probably all gonna go. But I have like 4 guys in my queue right now that I'm like, wow, like to have this available in the 9th round is
yeah.
phenomenal. But I'm at the point now where it's like I already hit so many wide receivers early that oh man, and there goes 2 of them, Michael Thomas and Brandon Cooks already. I
So
have a weird love for Brandon Cooks, but
no, so Brandon Cooks is actually um he's actually really high in my dynasty rankings, and I think it's from a points per game standpoint and his average. It's okay, Phil. I still love you. His average target separation. I think that's why he scores well in my model, if you want to call it that. So I like him too. Plus, there's not a lot of talent left on that roster. And even if Deshaun Watson plays or doesn't play, Brandon Cooks is still the wide receiver 1 on that team. So, Bob took Rondale Moore at and I can't freaking see 9-3
yeah.
ahead of, to me, the superior Moore, Elijah Moore, who I took at 9-5. Who do you like between those two? Putting you on the spot.
For redraft and best ball this year, I I kind of like Elijah Moore a little bit better, but I get flip flopping on
A
it.
little bit more. Come on, it was
I know,
right there.
I know, I know. Did I do that or did I not? I didn't, did I?
You didn't.
Oh man, I suck. All right.
You have 5-year-old twin boys. Like, how do you not make that dad joke?
I don't know. I missed it. It was a layup. I missed it. Um,
Phil
I
with
think
another great pick of Curtis Samuel. Sorry to
I
interrupt.
think Elijah Moore is in the whole Arizona offense just seems. I don't. Their last preseason game, and it's preseason. I get it, but the starters were out there against the other team starters, and it just seems so uninspired. I think is like the quote that like sticks with me of like listening to other people and myself watching like that portion of the game. Like the whole thing just seemed so uninspiring and
Yeah.
just not like it just didn't it wasn't exciting. It wasn't it's not what you were hoping to get out of your starting offense. And I just feel like
Yeah.
Rondell Moore might suffer because of that. Um
No, that makes sense. And I watched some of that game. It was against the Chiefs.
mhm.
And they looked sluggish. Like their first series was a 3-and-out. And
Yeah.
it was not pretty. Like, and didn't get to watch it a ton more after that. Um, but that right there, like that set the tone to me where it was like,
Yep.
okay, what's going on here? Like, is Seth
Yep.
gonna draft a quarterback?
Nope.
Am I gonna
I
draft a tight end?
I
What's
took
going on?
I took the most disrespected running back in football, I believe.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty accurate statement if you ask me.
Yep.
God bless America, Derek Dennington. You and I are not friends right now because you have sniped me 3 times when I'm like, "Oh, this is a good pick," and right before I'm gonna take him, you pick him.
And,
Um,
and and Dennington, thank you for doing the good work, sir. You're doing the
uh,
work that we all need you to do, and we thank you and applaud you for that.
goodness gracious. Okay, so while we're moving through the draft, we need to get an update on Bender's team. So let's go check that out. Um, so after Claypool, he went Judy, love it. Chenault, love it. Mooney at the 6'4". It's a little
Hmm.
ballsy, but again, you took Antonio Brown at 6'6", so can't fault him there.
I
Irv
mean,
Smith,
there's a big difference. I feel like in like talent and ability between Antonio Brown and Darnell Mooney. Even Antonio Brown, granted, he did just punch somebody in the face, but to me that shows some
what?
conditioning. Like
When did that happen?
that was like earlier this week.
Oh,
I
sweet
think it was it
Jesus.
during joint practices. To me, that just shows fire. He's ready.
Yeah, but it's
Uh,
Antonio
it
Brown.
it also means that he's probably on the verge of like another mental breakdown, which not poking fun at mental breakdowns, just looking at his past history, he's had some
Some,
episodes
yeah.
that make people question his mental health, and he may be heading towards another one of those. Hopefully not. Hopefully he's getting the help that he needs, and hopefully it was just you know I'm I'm pissed off. I'm gonna hiss him, somebody or something, which also isn't a healthy way to live. But yeah, that did happen. But hopefully that means Michael Pittman just went. Good pick, Cole. K Cole. Good pick.
All right, I'm gonna go with a player I don't draft often here and go with a little bit of a stack and take Tyler Higby. He's also someone that,
Ew.
yeah, it's not a pretty pick, but with Cup, and just getting Stafford, like I think Higby is one of those guys that will benefit from having an upgrading quarterback. significantly, and he's got less competition at the position too. So again, it's not a pick that I love, but I'm gonna go with it here.
I don't know why my timer is all jacked up, but okay, there it goes. It did go through. All right. Not
You,
not in love with the pick. Oh, and JB Cho knows took the player that was in my queue that I was like going back and forth on. So, which makes me think I wasn't too far off on Brian Edwards, but I went to Devontae Parker, and I think he's just old reliable. Like they brought
yeah,
in speed. They brought in speed everywhere on that Miami team. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Like speed isn't the only thing that wins in the NFL. And like being not gonna say Devontae Parker's good, so
he's
that might be a
not.
stretch, but being a guy that can be kind of a reliable, short, like intermediate target, I think is something that that team is going to kind of need in contrast to the, Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller. Like they're going to just open up so many things on that defense that I think Devontae Parker could benefit from that. Um, so that's why I went there. I'm not a I'm not in love with the pick,
I just want him to get
but I don't
traded.
mind it. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that like he's just another kind of disrespected guy where it's just, and
No,
he disappointed a lot of people for a long time.
for
But
5 years,
yeah, that's
and
true.
then his breakout wasn't real.
I mean,
Statistically, yes, it was a breakout, but situationally, it wasn't. They literally had no one else to throw the ball to. It was him
yeah.
and Gesicki, and that was it. They had Patrick Laird. They had Mark Walton, who they ended up having to cut because he ran from the police. They had another no-name running back.
Wait, isn't Patrick Laird still on the team though?
I think he
Did they
is.
bring him back then?
Yeah, I think Laird is still on the
Mm-hmm.
team, and I just really feel like Derek is about to snipe me again. Okay, he didn't. I'm actually going to double up on tight end and go Robert Tunyon here.
It's
Um,
not a bad play. He's another guy that like I feel like if you're in a draft with Green Bay fans, he goes super early. If you're not, like he just keeps dropping, and there's definitely question marks around repeatability for any tight end position,
yeah,
um, or really any
I
position, especially the tight end position. So, man, it's not a
I
bad pick
I
there.
like Tunyon because Rodgers trusts him in the end zone, and to me, that's very, very clear. And with a player like Rodgers, who's a bit of a head case,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a nice way to put that. Um, he trusts somebody and clearly will target somebody, especially in the red zone. That's somebody that I want on my team
Yeah.
because it's taken hard work probably for Tanyan to actually get that trust. So that's my biggest thing with why I think Tunyon can repeat. Is it going to be 11 touchdowns again? Maybe. That's still
Probably not.
that's still a lot though, and
Yeah.
even if he drops down to 8, that's still a good year at tight end.
Yeah, that's a great year at tight end, especially if he can increase. I think he only had
His catch rate
was it
was
40
ridiculous.
40 or 50 catches or something
I
like
think it was
that.
48 catches on 52 targets.
Yeah.
He also didn't really like break out until later in the year. So
Yeah.
I think the trust and the rapport with Rodgers, as well as having more of a timeline to actually be able to play, is going to be huge for him.
Yeah. And your boy Carbon Fox just sniped the sneaky little stack I was trying to put together there without anybody knowing,
With Gesicki,
and taking Gasicki. I was hoping to get the Parker to Gasicki stack, which is a very underrated one, and I think that's the one that kind of helps you win win
Yeah.
games is when you have the underrated stacks, not the ones that you break the bank on.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my second quarterback here, and I probably shouldn't, but it's also to complete a stack, a little stack, and I'm going T-Law. So I've got Mahomes and T-Law, and I like that a lot because I don't need Lawrence. That's the great thing is like if Lawrence
Mm-hmm.
struggles because he's a rookie or because Urban Meyer's an idiot, then I don't need him except for Mahomes bye week because with Mahomes you're probably getting 20 to 25 points every single week.
Yep. What's great is you and I started talking on like before the show started about how you got auto picked this person,
And
and
you're about to take him,
I'm just gonna take him right now.
Aguilar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
I
with
like it.
Nelson Aguilar. So I now have two guys on my team that are the super late quote unquote breakout guys with Aguilar and Parker. And you know what? Screw it. I'm in it. Let's get it.
I like Aguilar more than Parker because we've seen him switch teams and perform, and also when he was with the Eagles, pretty sure his quarterbacks were Carson Wentz and Nick Foles,
Yeah, I don't think he had any other ones.
and they're just kind of mediocre if you ask me. So, and I don't know, like with him moving teams and going to, I think he went to Vegas last year. Is that right?
Yeah.
And and
Las Vegas.
and playing well with Derek Carr, like to me, the change of scenery again will be good for him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that pick, especially with the price. Like the price that you're getting him for is so ridiculously cheap that it's worth the price of admission.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Ooh, Phil with a great late tight end pick in Gerald Everett. I love that. And then Gronk one pick after. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Gronk? Because I haven't gotten a read on like what the fantasy industry thinks of Gronk this year, and I don't know what to do with him to be honest.
Um, Swing away. That's like where he's going. Like if you told me I could have Everett or Gronk, I would go Gronk, even if it's just based on past history. But it's past history with Tom Brady, who he has still with him. Like there's not much that
You're on the
I'm.
clock in case you didn't know.
Yeah, there's not much that I'm afraid of there. Oh God, this draft is so full of just death, and more death. Oh no, I can't do that. Never mind. I can't do that. Okay, I'm gonna do this instead. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I almost did it. I had David Johnson in my queue
Dude,
because
I thought
because it's
about
like
it.
one of the last
But
like running backs,
yeah.
like supposed starting running backs, and I was like, oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. This next pick though is for our buddy Pat Loftus.
Amon Ra, yeah,
Amon
that's a
Ra, the
good one.
sun god. I love him. Um, I really think he's got a shot at being the wide receiver one on the lines this year. I'm not a believer in Tyrell Williams. Sorry, JB Cho. Not a believer in Brashad Perriman. Cephas, who knows? I kind of like Cephas too, but St.
Mhm.
Brown to me has all the tools to be a all around weapon for this team. So pencil him in as the wide receiver one, maybe, but
I
probably the third highest targets on the team,
Yeah, I was gonna say
maybe second.
I'd put him like not to get into the well, this running back should be a wide receiver one, or that tight end should be
This
wide
should be,
receiver
yeah,
one.
exactly.
Like actual wide receivers, I still think he's he's gonna start the season at best. I feel like as the third, maybe fourth wide receiver on the team. Like
Really?
in the rotation, not best
Yeah,
like talent wise, but like in the
yeah.
rotation. Um, and I think that will change over the season. And I think the people that are drafting, like nobody's drafting him in the 14th, 15th round, 13th, 14th, 15th round, going like, oh, I just drafted the number one wide receiver in Detroit and I feel great.
Yeah.
But like you're gonna get a guy that's gonna probably put out halfway decent numbers, at least a handful of times through the year, and probably towards the later end of the year. So I do not I
Wow.
don't hate the
K.
pick.
Cole with just the hammer drop on me. Good Lord. That one hurt. I was expecting to look at him in a couple of rounds. I fudge. I'm gonna go KJ Hamler. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it.
It's not a bad play for upside there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Let's see if Dennington screws me over here, because I got one last shot I want to take. Nope, Carson Wentz, which means I'm going with this guy right here. And I have way too many wide receivers on my team.
I do too. I was
but
just looking at that like, okay, I need to switch positions or something.
I'm just really hoping that Taylor, Robinson, Jones, Gordon, Singletary, like I'm only starting 2 running backs a week, every week. And
Yeah.
in some cases, it's going to be because the system forced me to start 2 running backs.
Yeah.
But
well, see,
I mean,
that's why I'm kind
I
of
really
okay
like the wide receivers though.
with my build, is because like my 2 running backs that I'm starting every week are Henry and CEH. Like, I'm so cool with that pairing every single week. Like, it's probably unhealthy how okay I am with that. And then I've got Trey Sermon for a little bit of upside later on in the season, I think. So, and because it's San Francisco and we never know who the hell Shanahan's actually going to play, that could be pretty nice. If Sermon gets hot. So, I got a couple people queued up that I don't love, but in the what pick are we in, or round are we in now? 17th, 16th. It's worth a shot, I think, at this point. We'll see if you snipe me or if anyone snipes me on them.
I just added a guy to my queue that, like, even as I'm adding it, I'm like, that's such a bad play. But it's almost not though. Almost.
I really hope that you take it with your next pick. Oh, did
No,
Bethany just take
definitely.
Bethany just took freaking Baker Mayfield? Not that I need him, but Bethany, you must know that that's my favorite player.
But why though?
Why?
Yes, why?
Because I relate to Baker as a short white male who's very fiery and passionate when playing sports.
Interesting. Let's see. What do we got
Yeah,
left here?
threw you for a loop, didn't I?
I mean, all right.
You probably don't care, but
this is gonna be.
don't do it. Don't you snipe me from 2 picks away.
No, it can't. It can't happen. I can't do that. Okay. No, not him. Oh, it's so dirty. But did I get it in? I did. Okay. It's so dirty. It makes me feel dirty. But Yep.
Ew. Okay, I'm taking a flyer on a running back here.
Oh no, that's why. Oh, damn you, Scuba Steve. I'm like, why is it just quarterbacks and running backs here? But I don't need a wide receiver. That's right. And now I just realized I only had it selected where it was QB and RB.
Proud of you.
There we go.
Proud of you.
So, anyways, this draft is sponsored by Brooklyn Breweries with their beer Pop Art, which is a hazy IPA and absolutely delicious, and comes in a fun decorative can.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, God damn it.
Ooh, Fox is having a hell of a
That's totally
draft.
gonna screw me because I only have 2 picks left now though. Oh, balls.
Fox taking Jared Cook. I like that pick, especially how late he got him. Okay, speaking of Arizona receivers, the last one that was taken was by our buddy Bob with AJ Green. What do you think of AJ Green? Because I can't stand the dude.
I, I mean, I don't have any personal feelings like that towards him. I think that I think he's over the hill.
Why do you say that?
Like I
Well, I
just
mean, he's 33, I think, or 32.
yeah. Like I mean, that's kind of why I say it. Oh, all right. UB. Yeah. Yes. We were talking before about Antonio Gibson going too early. UB, throw the horns up there. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go,
Oh
Buffalo.
my God, I'm gonna have to mute you. For
You
those
can't
of you
see, but I'm wearing my Zuba pants.
Christ have mercy. For those of you that
Okay.
don't know, Seth went to University of Buffalo or Buffalo University, whichever it is.
University of Buffalo. Get it right.
Okay.
Put some respect on my name.
No.
And the preseason hype is just right. Where that pick is like, yeah, I could see that. Like maybe it's a shot.
I mean, at this point, you're throwing darts, so
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And the Derek Carr pick though, I'm so mad at myself for, and I was running out of time, and I made a bad choice, and it is what it is. I should have taken Jared Gorf.
Jared Goffel?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're good with Carr. You'll be fine.
Well, so here's the thing: Goff is one of the few people. And I guess Carr isn't a similar boat, minus the people banging the drum for Marcus Mariota. Oddly enough, but
Why
Goff is one of the
though?
few quarterbacks that there's people out there doing it. Like
That makes 0 sense to me. I
zero
like
sense.
Mariota, but like why? He's 30 at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Dwayne Eskridge. Gonna put my person in my queue so I can make sure I take them. Christian Kirk, I like that. Who are you gonna take with your last pick, Mr. Seth?
You know what?
15.
Preseason hype me up.
Oh
Boom.
my God.
There it is.
Tyler Croft. I love that
I
so
needed a tight end, and Ebron is on the board. Dan Arnold's on the board. OJ Howard, Mo Alie Cox, Dalton Schultz, CJ Uzoma, which you my boy CJ.
What?
But I mean, like out of
Why is CJ Uzoma your boy?
because last year I got so much shit for waiting until like the 18th or 20th round to draft the tight end in the Scott Fish Bowl. And
Yeah.
it was like, it's tight end premium, right? You know it's tight end premium. So guess what, folks? I was 2 points away from the top 20 last year with CJ Uzoma as my starting tight end week 1 in the Scott Fish Bowl. So calm all that stuff down.
I was 8th.
You came in 8th place or 8 points away?
I was 8th.
Yeah, Phil B. Yeah, I see you on YouTube.
Yeah, I was 8th overall in scoring last year.
For the going to the playoffs or just
Yeah,
in total?
for the regular
you?
season.
Who was your tight end? Were they as good as CJ
It was
Uzoma?
Ertz and Irv Smith.
Oh, Ertz. Actually,
And I
Ertz. I'm
think I did
surprised.
have Uzoma actually.
Honestly, Ertz is a best ball darling right
Yeah.
now. like if you could take like I don't even think he got drafted, did he? Is there review full draft?
Let me click that since I'm
I
still
don't.
sharing the screen.
Yeah, no, he's still available right now.
Wow.
Like, and
No, he's not.
yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Isn't
JP
he?
Cho took him at 16.5.
Oh, you
Right before you took Carr.
you right. All right. I was gonna say he is a best ball darling right now because you can get him in the 16th, 17th, 18th round.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, he's as good as any other wide receiver running back that you would take in the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th round that never gets into your best ball roster. Best case scenario is he's Zach Ertz, a
He's a tight
top
end
5
one.
tight end.
Yeah.
Like, with Goddard there, it brings that down. Obviously, with him getting older, it brings it down. But they're all signs right now are they're not moving him, so he's gonna play, and he's going to do Zach Ertz things, which are good things for fantasy football.
Yep.
So
Yep. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first of, again, hopefully many collective best ball drafts on Underdog. So thank you for all joining us in the comments and in the draft. Seth, thank you for joining me as co-host tonight and co-pilot. I will do this anytime with you. So that wraps this up.
I'm just looking at the projections real quick. Can we just say that
Can you pull that up?
of the projections,
Yeah.
I have the second worst projections, and you know what? I'm not mad at you, Underdog. I'm just disappointed.
How do I pull up the
I
whole?
I don't know how to do it on the computer.
Yeah.
Boomerisms. I can only
I
do it
don't
on my
either.
phone, and it looks like the top projected is J. Cole with
Okay, Cole.
K. Cole. Sorry, close
And
enough.
then
I was off by a letter and multiple albums. Dak Prescott, Joe
that's
Burrow,
why
Ben
I corrected you.
Roethlisberger, Alvin Kamara, Swift, Jacobs, Gus Edwards, Devontae Booker. That's funny. Godwin, Galladay, Davis. He has like the New York receiving core with Galladay and Davis. Brandon Cooks, Michael Pittman, Jalen Rager, DPJ, Brashard Perriman, Darren Waller, Hunter Henry. It's a good squad. I don't think he should be projected, what, six
If it makes
almost
you feel any
almost
better,
600 points more than me. I don't know how they're actually doing it on
I
this,
am
but
only 130, 45 points, 35 points ahead of you. So
we both sucked according
yeah.
to Underdog.
So, and then shout out to Bender for bringing in the rear at 2,505.9 for the year.
Yeah.
Bender, again, your team could absolutely destroy. Your team could also finish last.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
What do you think of my ragtag group of running backs? Let's go look.
Oh, what? Who's Phil B?
That's burn
Shit.
zone. Give me a second. I'll pull
Burn
them up.
zone. What do we got here? I mean, you have Zach Moss, who's directly competing with my Devin Singletary, so you're gonna lose that one.
Darrell
Probably
Henderson,
not, honestly, but
is probably going to get more volume than I'd like to admit, but I'm not in on that pick. But to each their own.
mm-hmm.
I can't fault it. Moss, Singletary, Moss. Who's it gonna be? Nobody knows. Jamal Williams was always a nuisance to Aaron Jones in Green Bay, especially in the passing game. So I could see the same thing happening for Swift, unfortunately. James White, that's a great pick, honestly. And you took him like literally at price. You can see that right there. So I don't hate it. But let's look at your wide receivers. That's the real question. I mean, shit, Diggs and Ridley, like, and then you've got a ton of upside in Hardman, Samuel, and Bateman. So yeah, I like that team. And then you got Andrews too. Like you're set, man.
I mean, this is honestly a team that we could look back in like 6 weeks and be like, well, yeah, of course he's doing good right now. He has Henderson and Coleman, and they both like jumped off and did fine. And it's like, like right now we're all like, oh, it's doo doo, it's doo doo. Like it's a ragtag running back core. But in a couple, in 2 months, after injuries happen, after teams
Coaches are
really show
stupid.
who they are, like we start to see a little bit more. I mean, I think Henderson, Moss, White, Coleman, like those are all guys that could be good, like fantasy producers in a role where like you're aiming for like I need 10 to 15 points weekly out of somebody here. Because he's banking on his wide receivers carrying him.
Yeah, totally.
So it's a fun team.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, just Diggs and Ridley, like,
Mhm.
that's a nice pairing. I
But
like
his
I like that
running
a lot.
back one is Darrell
This is
Henderson.
Drew
So
Henderson.
it's
That's fair.
got the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am signing off. Cheers.
catch you on the flip side.